We grounded, Dip the Witch here, and today we're going to be talking about time. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about time, and we're going to talk about time. I thought this was the best time to talk about time because it is December 31st, 2019, which means we are heading into 2020, a whole new year, a fresh start for some people, a new beginning for some people. Same old shit for some people, you know. Whatever it is, it's a great time to talk more about time and think about time. Before we start talking about time specifically, we have to talk about perception.
Perception, the state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses.
And the reason we have to talk about perception is because our perception is what dictates and helps us make sense of the world as it is. So when things are happening, especially if it's something new for you and you may not understand it, your brain still has to interpret it for you to let you know what this means for you, right? So whenever, and I use this all the time, but perception and time, the baby touching the hot stove is always a great example, right? So when you were younger, or a baby or whatever, if they touch something hot, that moment they perceive that as hot. It's like, okay, I feel that that's hot. Their brain makes sense of that to tell them like, okay, no, let's not do that anymore. And then they learn from that, they grow from that. That's just a basic example. But if someone perceived that not as pain, or they're like, oh, that wasn't that bad, then that's a whole nother way that their brain or their mind has perceived that. And that could be different for some people. That's why for some people, tattoos are like the worst thing in the world, and for others, it's like, it wasn't that bad. Everybody's perception is different. It's what makes us unique. It is what makes us us, basically, because nobody else will perceive things as we do for ourselves. The perception, however you perceive a certain time period or a future period or present moment, will dictate how you create shadows, how your shadows come up, and when they come up. Because if you watched my last video, which you haven't, about the darkness, go check that out. But if you have seen it, you know that I said that shadows are a defense mechanism. It is the way that we adapt as human beings. Whenever we have something come up for us, how we're going to adapt is according to our shadows, according to our past experiences and what has gone on in our lives. If you may want to work on shadows, doing shadow work, you have to be more conscious of perception and how you perceive things in the moment. That'll be important whenever you get to that stage doing shadow work. We're going to get into time, right? So time is always described in three different ways. Either it's the past, the present, or the future. That's it. That's what you have. You either have past moments, the present time, or the future moments, right? So let's talk about each individually and why. Let's just talk about them. Let's just get in. So past. The past is moments that our brain has already interpreted and stored for us to know and learn from, right? Our past is all the things, all the memories that help us be who we are today, right? But in those moments, you can never go back to those moments. Now, if somebody has figured out a way to go into the future and the past, which I think there are a few people who can time travel, but you know, that's a whole nother conspiracy video. If you can't do that, then those are just moments to assist. And that's what the past is for. The past is to help you and assist you and guide you and just for you to learn from and take from and then live from, if that makes sense. Then we have the present, which is this moment that we'll never get back because, again, we can't go in the past. So this very moment, the moment we can't get back, the present. Everything beyond this is past. 2 seconds ago, that's my past. Don't ask me about it. But then you have the future. Now with the future, this is something that we can't control. We don't know what's going to happen, and people are kind of just trying to figure it out. Now, with that end, like I said, we can't control it. We don't know what it's going to be. Nobody can 100% say like, oh, this is what's going to happen. That's why I always tell people when I'm doing readings, like, oh, do you tell the future? And I'm like, no, the future could change tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't tell you any of that. I don't know any of that because it's not set in stone. We can make little decisions that could change our entire future, our entire life from this day forward. The butterfly effect, if you don't know about it, definitely learn about it. The butterfly effect is a very amazing concept that says that if one thing was to change, that it would change the rest of the whole timeline basically. And it's a big thing. You got to learn about it. You got to read about it. It's very interesting. And all the movies and games that they have about it, very good. Those are the 3 different ways: the past, the present, and the future. Now, why am I talking about this on a spirituality channel where I'm just talking about meditation and learning about yourself and things like that? The reason I'm talking about that is because all of these moments in time that we think about, they create shadows. So you have 3 types of people, 2 major groups of people, right? You have one group that constantly lives in the past. They have past trauma, past pain, past hurt, and that's all that they dwell on. That's all that they think they're worth. That's all that they can do. That's all that they can accept for themselves. And they feel like they can't move forward. They're constantly thinking about the past. The past controls them in their everyday life. When they are making decisions, it's like, oh, well, this happened, so this and this. And those are those people. And those tend to be the people who are very like OCD. Things have to be a specific way. Things have to go a specific way. Those are your control freaks who feel like, oh, well, this happened. I can't let this happen. I can't let that happen. Constantly, constant. That feeling of being out of control because you don't want to feel that because you had this happen when you were younger. All of that comes from the past. There are those type of people who mainly focus on that in their life. And then you have those people who focus about a future salvation or a future redemption or a future, something in the future that's going to make everything they're dealing with now worthwhile. And with those people, that's where your anxiety comes in. That anxiety and the panic attacks and the stress and the fear, all of those things come into play because you are constantly worried about something that you cannot control. You have no control over. You can't do anything about it, and it's not for certain. I've had so many people in the past year my age pass, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like they're gone. That's the end of it. There's no more stressing about the future or worrying about the past or stressing about the past and worrying about the future. That's it. You have a lot of people, myself included, who have a little bit of both. I have things in the past that I need to dwell on sometimes, and then I have things in the future that I'm like, I need to do this, I need to be successful, I need to do this, I need to do that. I am that person who has a little bit of both and kind of worries about both. Well, I was that person, and I can say that because I worked on a lot of stuff. But from those things, you have to remember that you're missing an important part of time. You're missing the present. What's going on right now? We here. Let's be here right now, okay? So, for the rest of this video, you've made it to this point, so obviously I'm saying something that resonates with you. For the rest of the video, I don't want you to watch anything else. I don't want you to look at anything else. I want you to just try. It's not mandatory, but just try and just focus on the conversation. Just take in the conversation, even though it's kind of not a conversation because we're not going back and forth, but you get what I'm saying. Just take in the moment and take in the video and what I'm talking about.
Back to your regular scheduled program.
So, like I said, not mandatory, but if you do, just try your best to not let anything distract you and just watch. And if you're doing something right now, come back later when you know you got time and watch it. I just want everybody to focus on this present moment of what's happening right now. So yeah, give you time to get that in place. The present time. In this present moment, in your present moment, are you focusing on what has happened or what did happen that you can't go back and control? Or are you focusing on what will happen and what might happen if you do this? If you just take this leap of faith, what might happen? What might come of it? If you're a little bit of both, if you're one or the other, whatever it is, I want you to take a moment and think of all the time that you've spent worrying about the past or thinking about the future and not doing anything now, if that makes sense. How many times were you stressed out about things that you can't control in the past or that you can't go back and change about yourself or that may have happened or things like that, things that aren't in your control, like you literally can't control those things, they've happened. instead of focusing on how to move forward from them, how to just learn from them and keep going with your life. Are you someone who the past feels like it's constantly just dwelling on you? Every time you try to make a decision, you think of, well, this happened to me. Or every time you try to move forward, every time you try to take that big step forward in your life and making a great decision that you know will benefit your life, and you thought of something from the past, or you had some feelings or anything come through for you, and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it because maybe this happened before, or that's gonna happen again, or what's even the point because this happened, so why should I even try to do that? Or are you a person who is like, okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this together because I gotta have this by then, I gotta be ready for this, I can't do this, I have to do this, everything has to be in place, I have to do it like this, I have to do it now. Okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do it today? Okay, wait, I can't do it today because I got a plan for tomorrow for today. I can't do that, I have to wait. Let me get this list together, let me see, okay, I'm gonna have this done by then, and this done by then, and this done by then, but not today because I have to plan for it tomorrow. Where are you sitting at? Are you sitting in the middle and having both come in, one in the morning, one at night, one in the middle of the day, one tomorrow, one next week? What is coming through for you? Where are those time periods that you can't control playing a role in your today? People always say like, well, if I'm gonna be president, like how do you plan? Like you saying I can't plan anything? No, what I'm saying is that you should plan consciously. You should plan according to now. What are you feeling now? Let's plan that today, but not expect everything to go that way, or not expect everything to happen that way, or not expect to feel the same way. Be okay with making changes. With something that you love, things change constantly, ideas come. Never feel like, oh, well, I said it this day, so now it has to be that. When you're planning, plan according to what you feel right now. What feels right to you now? You may feel right about a decision today, and then next week be like, I don't think that's going to be the same. Let me figure out what I need to do to fix that or do that. That's not working out for me today. It's okay to do that. We are so trained to not be able to speak up and not be able to make our own decisions, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of people making decisions for us and in our lives. And I mean, that's something that can be controlled. You can't get to a point where you are controlling everything in your life, but some of us aren't there yet. It is what it is. Something you can't control. You can only work on yourself at this moment to prepare yourself and get yourself to where you need to be. I was that person, like, both ways. Like, I had past stuff that would come through, and I wouldn't even acknowledge that because I was like, I ain't got time to be feeling no feelings. I ain't got time to be going through no emotions and stuff that, whatever. Then people did what they did, or whatever happened. I ain't got to deal with that. I was that person. I was that angry person. But then I started looking at it like, dang, it's really playing a role in my life. Because I grew up like this, maybe I'm manifesting this into my life because I haven't worked it. You gotta watch the darkness video. This is an experience. We are here to feel. We are here to hear, see, taste. Everything is an experience. Everything we go through, once we perceive that, once it's interpreted in our mind, we need to figure out, okay, what can I get from that? It's all about making decisions. It's all about how you perceive it. You can perceive it as something that's gonna hold you back. When something happens, when you're about to create that shadow, when your brain is interpreting a moment, when it happens, you have to figure out, like, okay, am I gonna choose to let this be my story? Is this it for me? Is this all I'm gonna be known for? Or am I gonna be like, okay, well, that happened. I can't go back and change it. That's a part of me. And it's the hardest thing ever to do too, because then you gotta be like, you gotta let that anger be. You gotta feel that anger and then let it go. And that's the worst, because I know me, I hold a grudge. I will hold on to something forever. I used to hold on to everything, like, with everybody. I was that person. But once I was like, what is that doing for me? That person is gonna live their life and do as they please and do whatever, and I'm just over here sad and hurt and angry. That ain't help me out. So I was just like, okay, what you need to do is perceive it, feel those emotions, be angry, but then choose to let that go. Let that shit go. Feelings are temporary. They're unconscious, but they're temporary. Your mood never stays one thing constantly unless you let that one thing take over you. If you choose, it's really a choice. And like I said, feelings are unconscious, so you can't choose when they're gonna come and come through. But you can choose to feel that for a moment, work through it, and get past it to happier moments. Right? Cool. We got the past. And then you have the future. That's just from society. We feel like we see how everybody else is living. We see how people post up stuff that ain't real, and we know it's not real. That's the funniest thing. We know it's not real, but still deep down inside us, like, we be like, but I do need to, I want to get like that. I want to be like that, or I like that. I really want to get to this point. I see how this person doing. Well, society say I should do this, and this is how I become successful, or I need to do this in order to be successful. We have so many different things playing on what our future should be and what it should look like, and things like that we lose ourselves in between all of that. We don't even know what we love at the end of the day. A lot of stuff you be thinking back to when you was a kid, and you be like, dang, I used to love doing that. Man, I used to love doing this. I wanted to do this when I got older. And you be like, damn, what happened? I was so happy I wanted to do that. I knew I was going to do that. And things change. Like I said, it's okay to change, but always change in the present. Don't change it according to what happened or what might happen. Change it to, okay, right now, this is how I'm feeling. This ain't gonna work for me. I learned what I need to learn from it. I know what I know now. I'm moving forward. Because if you lose yourself, you so lost in the past time and the future of who you might be and who you were in the past that you don't even know who you are right now. And this is the only moment you can control. Like I said, it is some time travelers out there. They ain't trying to give up their secrets. So if you still like me and you can't control the past or travel to the past and travel to the future, then why not focus on the now? Especially if you're going through something right now and you like, dang, this going on, this going on, this going on. It's like, take a moment. Breathe. Because at the end of the day, you got right now. What are you going to do right now? Don't dwell on what you might do in the future or how you might do it. What are you going to do right now? What can you do right now? And be real with yourself. People always, it's really hard to be in this industry and try to teach people and talk to people because a lot of us got these egos that will not let us be great. These shadows will not let us be great. These shadows hold us back. We be so defensive when anybody try to tell us something or talk to us about something. And the thing is, when I'm talking to somebody or when I'm teaching somebody about the stuff that I talk about, just know that I'm giving you my opinion. I'm giving you what I got to give you. Don't ever take what anybody says 100% fact. No, do your own research, work on yourself, do what feels right to you. That's the hardest thing about this business, is like telling people like, yeah, basically I'll be like, this is how I do it, this is what I do, da da da, but do what feel right to you. And it'd be like, oh, what? But it's just like that. It's just simple like that. Like, do what feels right to you. If you don't think you ready to work on yourself and you okay with all the cycles and all the things that's going on with you right now, then that's you. But if you ready to really like work on some shit and get forward and move forward in business and love and life and money and all of that, you gotta know what works for you and what you will be willing to do. For example, I ain't gonna say no names, but I was working with a financial services company. Great company. They had great things to offer. They were teaching great information to people, and I think everybody should know all of that information. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this because this is for everybody. I think everybody need to know this good information, da 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 da, whatever. And I did it for a minute, and it was so frustrating because, you know, everybody don't want that information. Everybody not open to that yet, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't happy doing it. You got some people in that company who making money, and it's like because they love what they doing, they really into it. And for me, I felt bad being like, look, I'm just not into it. Because then it's like, well, damn, you're not going to get this information to your people? You're not going to teach them? And it's like, that's not my job. That's not what I'm here for. It may be what some people are here for, to teach people about that and like badger it into people and like try to get them to understand, but that's not me. And I shouldn't have to feel bad because that's not what worked for me. That's just not what worked for me. It's more than a billion other people out here who can do that, who that may be for. But it ain't me. And for the longest, I was like, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I need to do it because it's good for everybody. And then I started realizing, like, but you unhappy. Like, what are you doing? You're unhappy doing this. And then when I was like, okay, I'm finna start this journey. I'm finna do what I need to do with the journey. And then I learned stuff about myself. And I learned, like, I was ashamed to say I didn't want to do that company because I felt like, well, you letting people down. But it's like, the fuck? No, I'm letting myself down because I'm not happy. If I'm doing what I'm happy and I'm teaching people about stuff that I love, or if I'm doing work for people and I really love what I'm doing, then I'm doing a service. Then I'm bringing something to everybody that I couldn't bring with that company. And it's so funny to talk about it like that because I know some people in that company who feel the exact opposite. And they're like, this is the best thing. And I'm like, you're right. That is the best thing for you. It's weird. It's really hard to do that when we have been trained to be a specific way. It's really hard to go against the grain or go against something when you really think it is amazing. You can still think something's amazing and not just, it still not be for you. Really big when it comes to time because time plays a big role in how you decide what is for you and what isn't for you. But you have to know how to discern, like at the moment, what am I feeling? What am I perceiving this moment as? You have to make sure that you are not dwelling too much on the past. Don't let the past play a role in your life. Because guess what? It's gone. That moment is gone and over. You can't go back. You can't change anything. Learn what you need to learn. Get what you need to get and move forward. And if you're someone who is constantly planning for the future and feel like, oh, well, I need to do this because of this in the future, I need to be here because of this, I want you to stop and realize that the future don't exist. It's not there. Because we don't know. We can't control everything in this world. We can only control us. So tomorrow, anything could happen. Tomorrow could be anybody's last day. Tomorrow will be somebody's last day. People die every day. And that person, if they spent their whole life planning and doing something that doesn't make them happy and all of those things, they will regret that. You have a lot of people, even if they don't have to die, like that's really extreme. I understand that. I'm a very morbid person. But even if they don't, you have a lot of people from older generations who are like, look, when old people come and tell you, do what make you happy. Don't listen to nobody else. Do what make you happy. A lot of times that's because, one, they did what made them happy and they lived the life that they wanted to live. Or two, they didn't and they regret that shit. We all know somebody like that. So you have to realize it's only now. This is the only moment you have. It's your choice to decide on what you will and will not allow to affect your energy. We all got past shit in our past. We all got secret shit that don't nobody know but us because we was the only ones who was like, you seen that shit? Oh my gosh, yes, I seen it. We the only ones who have been every moment with us. We are the only ones who have been through everything. Nobody else can understand it if you don't understand it first. You want to go and talk to somebody, you have to know what you need to talk about. You have to know what you need to express in order to get the reaction or get the help or the happiness and joy that you need. You have to know yourself in this moment what you're feeling, what is coming through for you. And people always ask, well, how do I be more conscious? How can I pay more attention? Literally just feel whatever you need to feel. Say what you need to say. You feeling angry? Feel that. But don't let anger, watch The Witcher, don't let your anger become chaos. We are here, what you say? We are here to control chaos, not become it. That was the realest shit I ever heard in my life. We're here to control chaos, not become it. Don't let yourself, and chaos isn't just anger and rage. Chaos is depression. Chaos is anxiety. Chaos is stress. You only have this moment. Stuff happens. It's life. Literally, there's nothing we can do about outside forces. Shit happens. But how you decide to move forward is what determines what you're going to have in your life. Focus on the now. Listen to yourself, feel yourself, hear yourself. Taste whatever, think whatever, feel what you feel, and be true to that. And that's time. That's pretty much it for time. But it's a lot that we can go into. If you want to continue the conversation, you can always go to my Facebook group. It's called The Beautifully Grounded. You must include the D. You can request to join. I would love to have some conversations going in the comments, or if you want to go through the Facebook group, you can go through there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all for watching.